The Korean words left Zara Thompson's lips before her brain could stop them. The man in the charcoal suit froze mid-step, his hand hovering over the restaurant door. His head turned slowly, predator tracking unexpected sound, and his dark eyes locked onto her with an intensity that made her breath catch. She'd just broken the first rule of invisibility. Never let them know you understand. Zara was just a 25-year-old waitress working the graveyard shift at Seoul Garden, a Korean restaurant where businessmen made deals over soju and grilled meat. She earned $2.13 an hour plus tips, lived in a studio apartment with a broken heater, and was 3 months behind on rent. Her entire existence was built on being invisible. The black woman serving Korean food to Korean customers who never imagined she understood every word they said. But standing frozen in the doorway, staring at her like she'd just revealed herself as a ghost, was Jun-woo Park. The man whose tailored suit cost more than her annual salary. The man whose import-export business employed half the Korean community and terrified the other half. The man 2 tables of assassins had just discussed murdering, in Korean, assuming she was deaf to their language. The 2 men at table 7, the ones who'd been speaking in rapid Korean about eliminating Park, about the Chinese willing to pay double, went silent. Their eyes cut to her. Then to Jun-woo, calculations running behind their faces. She'd just revealed she understood their murder plot. She was a witness. In their world, witnesses didn't get to retire, they got buried. Jun-woo's gaze hadn't left her face. "You speak Korean," he said quietly in English. It wasn't a question. Zara made her choice. If she was going to die tonight, she'd die honest. "당신을 죽이려고 해요," she said in perfect Korean. Her voice steady despite her racing heart. "They're trying to kill you." 테이블 7 중국 삼합회가 보냈어요. Table 7. Chinese triad sent them. Then Jun-woo smiled, cold, calculating, impressed. 어떻게 한국어를 배웠어? How did you learn Korean? My mother taught me, Zara replied in Korean. Before she died. Something shifted in his eyes. Recognition of loss. 그럼 너는 내 목숨을 구했어. He said softly. Then you just saved my life. He looked at the assassins. 그리고 그들은 그걸 알아. And they know it. Stay with me until the end, because what happens next won't just change Zara's life. It will reveal that the most feared man in the city has been waiting 3 years for someone brave enough to see past his walls. Seoul Garden existed in 2 languages. To Korean customers, it was a piece of home where they spoke freely. To everyone else, it was an exotic experience. And then there was Zara, the black waitress nobody expected to understand a single word. She'd been working there for 11 months, moving through the dining room like a shadow. She was invisible by design. Some Korean customers had even complained at first. Why do you have a black server? This is supposed to be authentic. But what nobody knew was that Zara understood every word. Her adoptive mother, Song-hee Kim, a widowed Korean literature professor who'd adopted her at age 7, had raised her bilingual. Language is power, Song-hee had said. When people think you don't understand them, you learn their truths. For 18 years, Song-hee had been Zara's world. Then 2 years ago, she died suddenly, leaving Zara alone, broke and drowning in debt. But she had one gift. Perfect Seoul dialect Korean that nobody expected from a black woman in a waitress uniform. That night at 11:47 p.m., 2 men sat at table 7. They moved like soldiers, scanning exits, backs to walls. 20 minutes later, drunk on soju, they started talking. 박민준이 오늘 밤 여기 온대. Park Min-jun is coming here tonight. Park Min-jun, Jun-woo Park's Korean name. 중국 놈들이 2배를 주겠대. 그를 죽이면. The Chinese are offering double. If we kill him. Zara's blood went cold. They were planning a murder. Right here. 문 앞에서. 나가면서. At the door. When he leaves. Then the front door opened, and Jun-woo Park walked in. The entire restaurant's energy shifted. Tall, lean, moving with absolute confidence. His charcoal suit was perfect. His watch caught the light, something Swiss and expensive. His face was handsome, but his eyes were predatory, constantly calculating. He walked toward the private booth in the back, right past table 7 on his way out. Zara's heart pounded. The assassins were ready, hands in their laps. Jun-woo didn't know. She made a choice that would shatter her invisibility forever. She intercepted him, looked up into those dangerous eyes, and spoke in rapid Korean. 조심하세요. 테이블 7에 있는 사람들. 당신을 죽이려고 해요. Be careful. The people at table 7. They're trying to kill you. After he questioned her and she explained, he pulled out his phone and gave her an order that allowed no argument. When I leave, you leave 30 seconds after. Out the back. My driver will be there. You're coming with me. What? No, I can't. Those men now know you understood them. You're a witness. They'll kill you to stay safe. So you have two choices. Come with me and live, or stay here and die. She looked at table 7. Both assassins were staring at her now. No more invisibility. She'd revealed herself, and now the wolves could see her bleeding. 30 seconds. The longest 30 seconds of Zara's life. Her mind screamed competing thoughts. Run. Just go home and pretend this never happened. But they saw you. They know. Your address is in the employee files. Call the police. And tell them what? You think they'll protect a broke black waitress? Jun-woo Park is a criminal. If you go with him, you're choosing the underworld. If you don't go with him, you're choosing death. Her whole life had been about survival. After her parents died. After the foster homes. After Song he taught her that invisibility was the only way to survive in spaces that didn't want her. But invisibility was a prison too. A small, safe prison where you never risked anything because you had nothing to risk. Zara looked at table 7. One assassin was standing now, reaching into his jacket. She made her choice. She walked through the kitchen and out the back exit. A black luxury car was waiting. The back door opened. Jun-woo's voice came from the darkness inside. Get in. The car was real luxury, leather seats, tinted windows. 준우 세트 비사이터. 폰 프레스트 투 히즈 이어. 스피킹 래피드 커리언. 채 씨가 배신했어. 그를 찾아. Choi betrayed us. Find him. He hung up and looked at Zara. You saved my life tonight. So I'll give you one chance to ask questions. After this, you follow orders. Understand? Why did you believe me? Zara asked. I'm nobody. I could have been lying. His dark eyes held hers. Because you had nothing to gain and everything to lose. People who lie do it for profit or protection. You did it because it was right. That kind of person is rare in my world. What world is that? The world where I control the docks, the unions, the construction contracts. Where I employ 1,000 people legally and another 1,000 less legally. Where I protect the Korean community from predators while being the biggest predator of all. He said it without pride or shame. Just fact. I'm what you'd call a criminal. But I'm the criminal who just saved your life, because you saved mine first. The car stopped at a high-rise apartment building. Luxury. Security. The kind of place Zara had only seen in movies. You'll stay here tonight, Jun-woo said. Tomorrow we talk about your future. Because the moment you spoke Korean in that restaurant, your old life ended. The apartment was stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Modern furniture. Everything clean and expensive. Jun-woo gestured to the couch. Seat. I'll explain why your Korean matters more than you know. He poured himself whiskey, didn't offer her any. When he sat across from her, something in his posture changed. The dangerous businessman became something else. Something wounded. 3 years ago, he began in Korean, his voice quiet. I had a wife. Misun. She was everything. Smart, strong, beautiful. She spoke 5 languages, managed my legitimate businesses, and was the only person in the world I trusted completely. His jaw tightened. One of my closest associates, a man named Choi who worked for me for 10 years, sold information about her location to a rival Chinese gang. They wanted to send me a message, to show me I wasn't untouchable. Jun-woo's hands gripped his glass so hard Zara thought it might shatter. They killed her in front of our home. 3 bullets. I was 10 minutes away. 10 minutes too late. The pain in his eyes was raw, ancient. I learned that day that trust is the most dangerous thing in the world. That love makes you weak. That the only way to survive is to keep everyone at a distance, to trust no one, to become so cold that nothing can hurt you anymore. He looked at Zara. For 3 years I've lived that way. Frozen. Alone. Building walls so thick that not even my own people really know me. I speak Korean with my inner circle because it's the language of my childhood, my mother, my wife. It's the language of the last time I was human. And then tonight, he continued. A black woman I'd never seen before spoke to me in perfect Seoul dialect Korean. Risked her life to warn me about assassins. Asked for nothing in return. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt something crack in those walls. Zara's throat was tight. I just didn't want you to die. I know. That's what makes you dangerous. His eyes held hers. You remind me that goodness still exists. That not everyone wants something from me. And that terrifies me more than any assassin. The next morning, Jun-woo's phone rang. He answered in Korean, listened, and his expression went cold. Get everyone to the safe house. Now. He looked at Zara. Choi knows I survived. He knows someone warned me. And he knows it was a Seoul Garden employee. He's going to the restaurant right now to find out who. Zara's heart stopped. Mrs. Kim, the other servers, they don't know anything. Choi won't care. He'll hurt them until someone gives him information. Jun-woo was already moving, grabbing his jacket. How many employees were working last night? 4 of us. Mrs. Kim, 2 other servers and the cook. He'll start with the servers. Work his way through them. He looked at her. Unless we get there first. They drove fast. Jun-woo made 3 calls in rapid Korean, assembling his people. When they arrived at Seoul Garden, it was still early. The restaurant didn't open until 11 a.m. But the front door was ajar. Jun-woo signaled Zara to stay in the car. She saw him pull a gun from inside his jacket. Casual, practiced. He moved toward the entrance like water, silent and fluid. Then she heard it. A scream. Female. Mrs. Kim. Zara's body moved before her brain caught up. She was out of the car, running toward the door, ignoring Jun-woo's whispered command to stop. Inside, the restaurant was dim. Mrs. Kim was on her knees, her face bruised. A man stood over her, thick-set, cold eyes. Choi. 2 other men flanked him. Where is she? Choi was saying in Korean. The black one. The one who speaks Korean. Where does she live? Mrs. Kim was crying. I don't know. Please, I don't. 너 거짓말하고 있어. You're lying. Choi pulled out a knife. 그녀는 여기 있어요. She's right here. Everyone turned. Zara stood in the doorway, her voice steady despite her terror. She spoke in perfect Korean. 저예요. 찾던 사람이. 박 사장님께 경고한 사람이요. It's me. The person you're looking for. The one who warned Mr. Park. Choi smiled. A wolf's smile. 얼마나 편리한가. How convenient. Jun-woo appeared behind Zara, gun raised. 얼마나 멍청한가. How stupid. His voice was ice. 3 more of his men materialized from the shadows. They'd entered through the back. They were surrounded. Choi's smile died. 너 나한테 10년 동안 일했어. 채 씨. You worked for me for 10 years, Choi. Jun-woo's voice was soft, dangerous. I made you rich. Gave you status. And you betrayed me for Chinese money. You killed my wife. Choi's jaw tightened. 당신이 약해졌어요. 사랑 때문에. You got weak. Because of love. No, Jun-woo said quietly. I got weak because I trusted you. He looked at Zara. But this woman, this stranger, saved my life without asking for anything. That's not weakness. That's strength I forgot existed. He gestured to his men. Take him. I'll deal with him later. They dragged Choi and his men out. Jun-woo knelt beside Mrs. Kim, helped her up gently, spoke to her in soft Korean, apologizing. He pulled out a thick envelope of cash, far more than enough to cover the damage and her medical bills. Then he turned to Zara. You shouldn't have come inside. You could have died. So could Mrs. Kim. I wasn't going to hide while she got hurt because of me. Something in his expression softened. You're either very brave or very foolish. Maybe both, Zara replied in Korean. He almost smiled. Come with me. We need to talk about what happens next. Back at the high-rise, Jun-woo poured himself another whiskey and finally offered Zara one. She took it. I have a problem, he said. My organization has enemies, Chinese, Russian, even rival Korean groups. They all speak their languages freely around my people, because they assume we only understand Korean. But I need to know what they're really saying. He looked at Zara. You speak Korean perfectly. You move through spaces invisible because people underestimate you. You're exactly what I need. What are you asking? Work for me. Come to meetings, business dinners, social events. Listen. Tell me what people say when they think nobody understands. Use your invisibility as a weapon. You want me to be a spy. I want you to be what you already are. A ghost who speaks languages people don't expect. The difference is, now you'll be paid well for it. Very well. He named a number. It was more money than Zara had made in 3 years of waitressing. Enough to pay her debts, get a real apartment, maybe go back to school. Why would I say yes? Zara asked. I'd be helping a criminal. Yes. But I'm a criminal who protects the Korean community, who employs thousands of people legally, who keeps worse criminals out of our territory. I'm not a good man, Zara. But I'm not the worst man either. He leaned forward. And more importantly, I'm the man who's going to keep you alive. Because Choi wasn't working alone. His Chinese partners know about you now. You saved my life, which makes you my ally, which makes you their enemy. You're in this whether you want to be or not. Zara thought about Song Hee's words. Language is power. Use it wisely. She'd spent 2 years being invisible, powerless, drowning. Maybe it was time to use her power. Even if it meant working for a man who lived in shadows. I have conditions, Zara said in Korean. Jun-woo raised an eyebrow. Go ahead. Nobody gets hurt because of information I give you unless they're actively trying to hurt someone else first. I'm not helping you murder innocent people. Agreed. I want protection for Mrs. Kim and the Seoul Garden staff. They're not part of this. Already done. And I want to learn more Korean. Business Korean. The formal language you use in meetings. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it perfectly. This time Jun-woo did smile. I'll teach you myself. Deal. Zara extended her hand. Deal. His handshake was firm, warm. Welcome to my world. Zara, Zara. Try not to die. 2 months later, Zara had transformed. She wore expensive clothes now. Still simple, still designed to make her blend in, but quality fabric that whispered wealth. She attended business dinners with Jun-woo, sat silently at negotiations and listened. And what she heard was valuable. The Chinese triad discussing a port shipment they planned to steal, in Mandarin, assuming nobody understood. Zara did. She'd started learning Mandarin too. The Russian mob talking about a protection racket they wanted to expand into Jun-woo's territory, in Russian. Zara was picking that up as well, with Jun-woo's help and expensive tutors he paid for. She'd become his secret weapon. The invisible woman who heard everything. Tonight, they were in Zara's new apartment. Jun-woo had moved her to a secure building, paid a year's rent up front, reviewing intelligence she'd gathered. The Chinese are making their move tomorrow night, Zara said in Korean. The shipment at Pier 7. They think you don't know. Jun-woo pulled out his phone. Made one call. 스폭 인캄, 컨트롤드 커리언. 내일 밤 7번 부두. 중국 놈들이 움직여. 우리 사람들 준비시켜. 하지만 조용하게. Tomorrow night, Pier 7. The Chinese are moving. Get our people ready. But quietly. He hung up. Looked at Zara. In 12 hours, the Chinese will try to steal $3 million in electronics from my shipment. Instead, they'll find an empty container and 20 of my men waiting. We'll take back what's ours and send a message that costs them nothing but pride. No blood. Just a lesson. You're not going to hurt them? I don't need to. Humiliation is more effective than violence. They'll lose face with their bosses, lose the shipment, and learn that I always know more than they think. He leaned back. That's the difference between me and people like Choi. I use information like a scalpel. Others use violence like a hammer. You're teaching me to be sharper, smarter, more precise. Something had changed between them over 2 months. Not romance, not yet, but a partnership built on trust. He taught her his world. She kept him human. My wife would have liked you, Jun-woo said quietly in Korean. She believed in using intelligence over force, in protecting people, not just controlling them. I wish I could have met her, Zara replied. So do I. His eyes held hers. Thank you, Zara, for reminding me who I wanted to be. The confrontation with Choi came 3 months after that first night at Seoul Garden. Jun-woo had kept him alive, locked away, waiting for the right moment. Now, with the Chinese triad weakened and his own organization stronger than ever, it was time. They met in a warehouse. Neutral ground. Jun-woo brought Zara. She'd insisted on coming, and he'd stopped trying to protect her from reality. Choi was bound to a chair. He looked thinner, harder, but his eyes still held defiance. 너 날 죽일 거야. You going to kill me? Choi asked in Korean. No, Jun-woo replied calmly. I'm going to do something worse. I'm going to let you live. He pulled out a folder. This contains evidence of every crime you've committed in the past 10 years. Theft, assault, conspiracy to commit murder. I'm giving it to the FBI. You'll spend the rest of your life in federal prison, not as a martyr, but as a convict. A rat who betrayed his own people for Chinese money. Choi's face went pale. You can't. I already did. The agents are waiting outside. But before they take you, I want you to understand something. Jun-woo's voice was cold, final. You killed my wife because you thought love made me weak. But this woman, he gestured to Zara, saved my life because of courage you'll never understand. She reminded me that strength isn't about being alone. It's about protecting the people who matter. He leaned close to Choi. You took me son from me. But you didn't destroy me. You just taught me to be more careful about who I trust. And now I have someone beside me who earned that trust the hardest way possible, by choosing to do the right thing when nobody was watching. Jun-woo straightened. Federal agents will give you a life sentence. But before you go, know this, I won. Not with violence. With strategy. With intelligence. With the help of a woman you'd never even notice. And that's why you lost. FBI agents entered. Took Choi away. It was over. Outside, Zara breathed in the night air. Jun-woo stood beside her. Is it always like this? She asked in Korean. This world you live in? Sometimes. Other times it's worse. Sometimes it's just business. He looked at her. Having regrets? No, Zara said honestly. I'm exactly where I chose to be. 6 months later, Zara walked into her new office, sleek, modern, with a view of the city. The door read, Zara Thompson, Director of Cultural Liaison, Park International Holdings. Her official job was helping Jun-woo's legitimate businesses navigate cultural differences, translate documents, and facilitate international partnerships. She was paid well, respected, and visible in ways she'd never been before. Her unofficial job was still being Jun-woo's secret weapon. The woman who spoke languages nobody expected, who listened when people thought nobody understood. But now she did it from a position of power. She wore designer clothes not to blend in, but because she'd earned them. She walked into rooms and people noticed her, not because of her race, but because of her reputation as someone brilliant, multilingual, and invaluable. Jun-woo knocked on her office door. Walked in with 2 coffee cups. Handed her one. 큰 회의 준비됐어. Ready for the big meeting? He asked in Korean. 물론이죠. Of course. Zara replied. The Japanese investors arrive in an hour. I've prepared translations for all the contracts. He sat on the edge of her desk. Over 6 months, their relationship had evolved. Not quite romance, they were too careful for that, but something deeper. Partnership. Trust. The kind of bond built through danger and choice. You know, Jun-woo said in English. That night at Seoul Garden changed both our lives. How? You reminded me I was still human. That I could trust again. That being strong doesn't mean being alone. He paused. My wife always said that the strongest people are the ones brave enough to be vulnerable. To trust. To care. I forgot that after she died. You taught me to remember. Zara smiled. And you taught me that being invisible isn't the only way to survive. That sometimes, being seen is the most powerful choice of all. Jun-woo raised his coffee cup. To language. To power. To the woman who speaks Korean better than half my Korean staff. Zara clinked her cup against his. To second chances. And to the Mafia boss who learned that trust isn't weakness, it's the strongest weapon of all. They drank. Outside the window, the city sprawled below them. A city where a black woman and a Korean-American crime boss had built something unexpected. A partnership based on loyalty, language, and the understanding that sometimes, the most dangerous people are the ones you never see coming. And Zara had learned the most important lesson of all. Invisibility was a choice, not a prison. And when you chose to be seen, to speak, to act with courage, that's when you became truly powerful. Sometimes, the most dangerous weapon isn't violence. It's a language nobody expects you to speak. Zara used her voice to save a life, and ended up transforming her own. If you believe in the power of being underestimated, in speaking up when it matters most, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories about unlikely heroes who change their worlds through courage and intelligence. And tell me in the comments, what language would you learn if you wanted to have a secret superpower? Korean? Mandarin? Russian? Let me know below. Thanks for watching. Remember, the most powerful people aren't always the ones you see coming. They're the ones you never saw at all. Until next time.